What's going on, everyone? It is an exciting day today because we get to play some new Cassian, and might I say, this guy has been really sweet so far. There is a lot of things going on, and there's some kind of not necessarily hidden, but some mechanics that a lot of people didn't realize with Cassian that I am excited to hopefully not exploit, but take advantage of. A big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon, guys. We have all been super hyped over set 6 and can't get more excited for the pre-release coming up. But let's dive into the deck and see what we got going on. So Cassian's ability means that any friendly unit that has damaged an opponent's base cannot be attacked, basically kind of giving it hidden for this round. Now, this is good if you're just playing an aggro deck, which we are. It is basically an entirely rebel-based aggro deck, but it's also really valuable for cards that deal damage to a base. For example, take something like Sabine, which can attack and then deal 1 damage to the defender or to a base. If we deal that 1 damage to a base, she no longer can be attacked. Fighters for Freedom, whenever we play aggression card, boom, we can deal 1 damage to a base, and this cannot be attacked. Podameron, that type of card. Any card that's dealing damage to a base while we attack, you can no longer hit. This is really cool with sub cards, but also it's just really good by attacking and making our opponent kind of have to take another action or deal with our units other than just attacking them. So that whole game plan with Cassian is going to be pretty strong. Then we have a flip side of being a 6/2 for 6, and if you have the initiative, he can't be defeated by, enemy card abilities or by having less than, 0 HP. And so we have Cinta alongside it, one of the new cards, to where we can immediately attack in with Cassian, hopefully to claim the initiative on the previous turn. New cards like Valiant Commando to maybe get in some burn damage, and even the new Nemec, I guess you could say, combo with Karas Nemo himself, being able to go ahead and disclose cards and create a spy token when he's defeated, hopefully getting in just a little bit of extra damage, and Nemec's Manifesto, where, well, when defeated, every unit with a rebel trait on board, at least other friendly, is going to go smack them for 1. Other than that, I mean, it's just a pretty standard rebel deck. Even for a cause hits for 4 the majority of the time, with the exception of Cinta. Every other card is heroism. Every other card is a rebel unit, with the exception of Podameron and Wrecker, with our ECL. And we're going to see what we can do with Cassian. I know people are very used to this style of deck, but I think this is going to attack on a different angle that people are really not expecting. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. All right, my screen just went completely blank there for a moment, but we've got a pretty good hand. I'm going to keep this. I really like the For a Cause. I am tempted to keep the For a Cause over this Podameron because of the Cad Bane Blue. I'm going to take a risk here and just get the Podameron in. Remember, it looks like we're in a controlling matchup, so this is going to be very interesting. I mean, yeah, we'll deal 1 damage to the Karas. We'll go in and claim, and then I think what we'll do is double Fleet Lieutenant. I mean, I can get a readied spy token, or I can ECL out this fighters. I mean, we'll just attack. We will reveal the Fighters for Freedom, and then we'll just get a free spy token. This is kind of what I mean by this card. I mean, we just got a free 2 damage, and we're left with a 0/2 on board, which looks fantastic. Like, that is an amazing spot to be in. This is a really solid hand. I'm kind of tempted to go with another Fighters for Freedom and then a Nemec's Manifesto here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's just go ahead and try the extra damage here. They're gonna Pike Sentinel. We'll deal 1 damage to the Fighters for Freedom. Well, now that they played a Pike Sentinel, I'm kind of tempted to ECL out something. I mean, this has Saboteur, so do I really care? Probably not, actually. We'll deal 1 damage to a base. This Fighters for Freedom can no longer be attacked. And then I guess we can Nemec's Manifesto onto Spy and kill the Pike Sentinel. Ooh, they've got Boba Fett here, huh? Okay, yeah, no problem. Let's put Nemec's Manifesto. We're going to deal 2 damage to a base with these Fighters for Freedom. I mean, this is really dishing out a lot of damage here. And then we're going to attack it for 4. Don't really care about my opponent's units here. Valiant Commando, Cinta, immediate resource here. We can ECL out Podameron and discard some cards to potentially hit their base and prevent Podameron from being attacked. Fighters for Freedom both have Saboteur, which is going to be pretty relevant. What do they just do? Hot Shot Blaster in for some deeps. I like it. All right, let's go ahead and just... Yeah, let's go ahead and just attack in for 3. They've got Bazine. They can take the Podameron at this point. I don't even know... Yeah, let's just go ahead and ECL out K2. Wait, did I just do 1 damage to my own base? Oh, whoops. I just clicked, I guess. Unlucky. All right, we're going to claim initiative. We're going to get Cassian down, and he cannot be defeated by having, you know, lower HP. So this is going to be pretty fantastic. And then we can get... I want to resource the post because I can play Fighters for Freedom and Nemec's Manifesto, but I think I'm just going to go, you know, an attack in with Fighters for Freedom, actually. And then we'll see what we do afterwards. I mean, this is really obnoxious for my opponent here. I mean, I don't really know how they deal with a lot of these units. Let's see what they have as a plot card. Maybe they have like a... Okay. I mean, they can exhaust. We could deal 2 damage to, I suppose, the K2. But what's going to be interesting here is we're going to deploy Cassian, deal 1 damage to the base, attack it for 6. And I mean, they can't kill Cassian right now. So... it's over. I mean, I don't know how or what they could do to even, you know, win the game here. We're going to claim they've had triple Pike Sentinel. That is a crazy draw, by the way. Absolutely insanity. Very, very fortunate for them. I mean, if they didn't have the triple Pike Sentinel, this game would have been so over. I think they should attack base here. Ooh, McClunky? Kill the Fighters for free. Wow, they are really going ham here on trying to remove all my units. I think they should have just hit base. We will deal 3 damage to opponent's base here with the K2, and then we have Cassian, who cannot be defeated this turn, right? So like any removal doesn't do it, and then we just GG. My opponent had a really nice draw up against us as well with the triple Pike Sentinel. I mean, I guess the Contracted Jump Master didn't really do a whole lot, but maybe they have an early McClunky. But I mean, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. The Karis did some work. I mean, that spy token came down, this guy got to kill their Sentinel, turn 1 Sentinel, and got to leave a spy token behind. If this was like a Battlefield Marine, this would have just died, and we wouldn't have gotten a spy token, and that would have been, you know, completely like a little bit of a different game, right? We would have missed out a point of damage. I mean, I guess we probably still would have won because we had a great hand, but yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Alrighty, into the next game here. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. Is the game over? I think the game might be over. We have a lot of turbulent plays in this deck. Yeah, I guess we just claim. Wow, that's really weak. Okay. Let's resource, I suppose, Karis. I'm going to play Sabine's Masterpiece. If they have a space unit to kill the Sabine's Masterpiece, it is what it is. Can't really do a whole lot about that. We're going to try to avoid the Asajj action here. I was going to mulligan the first hand just because I felt like it was quite weak. Since I didn't really... Okay, they're going to have the Grand Inquisitor here. I didn't really want to do kind of what the hand was looking to do. So they can... I mean, I can ECL out K2 and then just... But then... Let's go with K2 first, because they can do the 1 damage. They can Tarkin Town it away. Fine. No big deal. I need to get rid of their Tarkin Town anyways. If I EC out K2, yes, I kill Lobot for free, but then they could still do the 1 damage and Tarkin Town and kill my K2, and it doesn't really resolve anything. Okay, Power of the Dark Side. We're going to go ahead and attack in for a little bit of damage here. So they had the Power of the Dark Side. They're not going to use the Tarkin Town yet. We're going to go ahead and claim initiative. And then, I mean, I suppose I'll resource the... I mean, I kind of want the Wing Leader. Let's go with... Let's try to go for the extra damage. Let's go Wing Leader on Sabine's Masterpiece. They could have a takedown. They could be playing a full control deck. Wow, it's surprising. But we're going to do it anyways. Let's go with the Sabine here now as a follow-up. If they attack it with Grand Inquisitor, so be it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hit the base for 6. And then we'll see what they decide to do here. Let's go ahead and claim initiative. Ooh, Podameron and Wrecker as options here. For a Cause is looking pretty good, but I'm just going to immediately start in with an attack in for 5. This Banshee can no longer attack the Sabine's Masterpiece. That said, they can attack base and then deal 1/1 and then Turkentown, so that is an option for them. We have ECL Wrecker, which looks amazing here. I can defeat Lobot and then hit into their base for 5. Okay. Asajj comes out. They're going to attack, do damage. They didn't use the action from Asajj. I think they should have used the action here. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but yeah, I mean, we win, right? There's nothing they can do. ECL out Wrecker, 5 damage to the Lobot, trigger ambush, hit them for a bunch. Then we deploy Cassian and kill, right? Both these guys can't be hit. So, I can't deploy Cassian. What am I doing? Well, it doesn't matter because we can just claim. I'm trolling. I'm trolling so hard. It is what it is. It is what it is. I should have deployed Cassian here first. I was like, oh yeah, we win by so many levels. Like they have, if we deploy Wrecker, then they have to target down that. But if they target down that, then this means Masterpiece lives. And then, I mean, there's just a million different things. I suppose, like, if they just claimed initiative there, they may have. No, they can't do that. Because if they claim initiative there, then, or if they don't use target down there and they claim initiative, then we have 2 units. But then next turn we can attack with either one and it works. So they'd have to have something really, really good. I don't know. And For a Cause finishes the game anyways. I mean, there's a million different ways that we win. I should have deployed Cassian first, of course. I just was like, oh yeah, this is so one. But GG to my opponent. And we missed. Did we miss turn? We missed turn 1. Dang. Okay. On our next game, we've got an ECL Jabba here, which is going to be quite interesting. Honestly, I think I go into the space arena. My opponent's, I mean, they could ECL a lot of different things. My opponent's probably going to be going with, a bunch of different ground units to ambush out. So we're just going to start with the A-Wing. Looks like they got Inferno 4, so that's pretty relevant. But we get, ECL out Sabine's Masterpiece. So, I mean, we're just going to do that immediately. Straight up, we're going to ECL this out, ambush, give an experience token over to the A-Wing so we can get in a little bit of extra damage. But yeah, this is just going to generate a little bit of value for us. I'm surprised they start with Inferno 4. I mean, usually they're not going to have, resupply. Yeah, makes total sense. Syntax, immediate resource there. This unit is just basically only resourced for the most part. There are a few exceptions here, but Fleet Lieutenant looks fantastic. Wing Leader looks good. If we can at least get one of our units to survive, they could have, an ECL'd out unit here that could do some nasty stuff for us. We will see. But they're going to deploy Jabba and play Chancellor Palpatine. Okay, I'm going to, give an experience token over to the Sabine's Masterpiece, just get in for some damage here. They could have an ECL'd out unit here. Doesn't look like it, so I'm just going to go for a massively upgraded A-Wing, and then we're going to get in for 6. This is all cool, but, I mean, it doesn't really do a whole lot, to be honest. I mean, we are pure space right now. They have to have an answer to this A-Wing. They can Death Trooper, but Death Trooper doesn't do anything besides kill. I mean, yeah, like I said, doesn't do anything besides kill the Wing Leader off. I mean, they could have. It doesn't matter. They said misclick. They could have killed the Sabine's Masterpiece. It does not matter. The game is completely over. Death Trooper deals 2 damage, which means the 2 damage can go on to the Sabine's Masterpiece or the Wing Leader. But let's say Wing Leader lives. I mean, let's say they kill the Sabine's Masterpiece. We hit in for 8 with the A-Wing. Then if they don't have an immediate answer to this Wing Leader, which they don't because they already used Jabba's ability, we just attack in with Wing Leader. And then we have Cassian deploy. And then we have 4 of Cause. I mean, the game is completely over. And then they still have to deal with Wing Leader, A-Wing, and Fleet Lieutenant. And so, yeah, this was a pretty quick game. That ECL Sabine's Masterpiece was clutch. Absolutely clutch. Alrighty, into the next game here. And we'll see what my opponent decides to do. Looks like we are up against, an old classic. I guess old classic, but Turkentown is really what I'm referring to here. Bad Bay's not really a classic. They're going to go out and do their discard thing. I don't think it's worth passing because if they claim initiative, I think it's just worse off for us. We kind of have to fight through the Turkentown no matter what. They're going to be able to trigger it with a million different cards. So we'll see what they have here. Karis Nemec. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. That said, I mean, they're not going to be able to attack into this battlefield marine because we are going to just attack into base, right? So we get to attack into base, which means they cannot attack it anymore, which means they have to use some sort of discard shenanigans to finish off this battlefield marine, which is fantastic. What did they just play? Oh. They are actually able to get triple cunning. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, let's go Sabine's masterpiece here. They can Tarkin Town away the battlefield marine. They had Daring Raid as well. Wow, what a hand. That was the only card left in their hand. Wow, that's cool. All right, let's just go with Fleet Lieutenant. Let's just get in for some damage here. 5 into base. They use Tarkin Town at least. We're gonna have Poe Dameron ECL. We know that they have Kira, so it's probably not gonna be Poe Dameron that we can ECL because they're probably gonna be playing Kira and then naming Poe. So that's something to consider. Even so, I don't think keeping battlefield rounds gonna be all that relevant in this particular spot. They're going to go with the Kira. They're gonna name Poe. It's very obvious. They've had a pretty awesome start, to be honest. I mean, the Daring Raid was really the clutch play. So they go Karis here, they attack, they kill, they don't have any. Wow, okay, interesting. Okay, Rebel Assault comes down. I mean, Poe Dameron's gonna be completely worthless here. We are not gonna be able to play it. We're just gonna get in for 4 here with the battlefield marine, and then we're gonna play Sabine. And then we're going to try to rush them down. I mean, there's not really many other options that we have. They can go ahead and kill the Sabine with their Kira if they would like. They do. We're going to go and claim. Anakin, Furtive Maiden. Sure. Fleet Lieutenant looks pretty good. I mean, how much damage do they have here? They have 3, 5, 7, 10. I mean, technically they have lethal, so we need to deploy Cassian. No Cinta. I'm doing this first, even though I could have attacked with Battlefield Marine, because I need to know what my opponent's plan here is. Because if in reality, if they just attack us with everything, we probably lose. Because we need to use this Wrecker for some big damage. Like, let's say we attack with Battlefield Marine and then get an attack in. Technically, Wrecker could win the game. But I'm kind of relying on this Cassian here a lot, because as long as we keep the initiative, this guy cannot die. And so my opponent has a lot of actions to take, and this might really take advantage of that. Wow, they're going straight into the base, huh? All right, let's attack in with the Battlefield Marine then. So they're going to ignore our units here is what my thought is here. Gonna discard the Mandalorian. Cool. Gonna get in for 2. I mean, we have lethal on board with this Wrecker ECL, unless they have a second Kira. All right, we'll just win the game, I suppose. GG. So they're gonna go erase us. I was thinking that they may try to deal with some of our units, but they didn't. So I guess that's good for us. I mean, Wrecker was clearly the play there, but yeah, I was curious as to what they were going to do. I guess I could have just got with the immediate attack with Battlefield Marine and then deployed Cassian afterwards. It wouldn't have been a big difference, but I mean, that's Cassian right there. You're able to keep initiative here because they were generating so many units that they had so many actions to take every single turn that we kind of just ran through them, right? I mean, Cassian just is a 6 deploy, 6 to attack. Now, if you think about it, if we had Sabine 2 turns earlier, we technically would have done the same amount of damage to them. But Cassian puts, again, a little bit of a different dynamic. That Battlefield Marine not being able to be killed by Karis was extremely relevant. And they even had a really nice, solid start, which Daring Raid plus Tarkin Town plus Faith in Your Friends. So you get to create a bunch of spy tokens was really nice, and then even the Kira on the Poe Dameron was really nice as well. So good stuff from our opponent. Is control in the air? What's going on with these Cad Bane Blues here? We're gonna mulligan this. No turn 1 play here. This is a lot better. I think I'm gonna resource the Valiant Commando and the Battlefield Marine, because Sabine can deal damage to a base, which means that they can't kill it. So that's going to be kind of nice. They can go ahead and take away my 3-drop. That's fine if they do. Sure. Take 1 damage. We'll claim. Fighters for Freedom is back. Cool. Let's just go ahead and play the Fighters for Freedom then. Let's get in for 3. They're not going to be able to kill this Sabine unless they have like a Power of the Dark Side, which is totally fine. Or McClunky. McClunky is good in this spot. It's always good. Okay, let's go ahead and play Fighters for Freedom then. We just drew the same thing that they discarded. We have a lot of 3-drops in our deck, so not exactly all that crazy. You know what? We'll just take 1 damage to Fighters for Freedom. We'll claim. Okay, another K2, a Poe Dameron. I mean, honestly, I want to play the K2, so I'm going to play the K2. But I was really tempted to go ahead and let's just get in for 3. I was really tempted to try to go Rebel Assault here. But I think just deploying K2 and then keeping Rebel Assault for next turn is going to be a little bit more relevant here. Okay, we'll take another damage onto, I guess, Fighters for Freedom. They're going to grab McClunky. Wow, good card. Get in for 3 with the Fighters for Freedom. Bazine can't hit any of these units. Play K2. We'll deal 1 more damage to the base. Okay. Oh, they're not. Wow, they're not even interesting. I was thinking that they were going to do something different, which is just claim initiative. Oh yeah, of course it costs 1 less. Cool. That makes a lot of sense. I suppose I can go with Valiant Commando. I want a Rebel Assault here. So now both these units can't be hit. So like Sabine is impervious to damage right now, which is sick. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to set up to where I have like very minimal actions to take this turn so that I can claim initiative, so that I then can go ahead and you know, play my unit and then claim initiative, and then I'll have Cassian be impervious to anything. Looks like they've got the Bazine. They're going to replay it here. I mean, honestly, the Nemec's Manifesto seems good, and so does the Valiant Commando. So, kind of a tough choice. And we just drew into Wrecker. I mean, you can't lie about this stuff. Let's just go Nemec's Manifesto on K2. My opponent can claim initiative now. I'm kind of just deploying everything because I think even if I don't claim initiative here, my opponent has multiple actions to take. We just drew into Wrecker. And so because we drew into Wrecker, I am okay with just deploying my cards out. I think that it's going to be really tough for my opponent to win in this spot. And we'll see. We'll see what they've got. I mean, ECL out Wrecker is going to be really tough. What did they just do? Huh. Okay. So they're gonna they're putting Sentinel on the unit. Okay, cool. Let's just get it in for 2 with the K2. I don't even think I care about deploying Cassian this turn. I think just Wreckering the Jabba is going to be really excellent. I mean, this Sentinel's not going to do anything. That card just does nothing because we were going to do just ECL out Wrecker anyways. So, oh, well now, I mean, they could have a lot of things. No, it's just better to ECL Wrecker. It's even better now, to be honest. Oh my gosh, look at that damage. And Wrecker can't be attacked as well, by the way. So that's fantastic. I mean, this game is completely over, right? Sure. Yeah, I mean, do your exhausting thing. We'll just kill our own K2. And GG. That was not close at all. That was like not even close. I mean, that was brutal. Bazine not being able to attack Sabine was actually really relevant because we got multiple attacks in with her. Otherwise, my opponent probably would have just attacked Sabine twice, right? But also the Fighters for Freedom getting in damage, the MX Manifesto was pretty kind of interesting, getting an extra damage in and being kind of that trigger. Of course, I mean, we just played kind of a standard heroism aggression game, but the fact that Sabine couldn't die was actually extremely relevant. So that's pretty sweet. All right, this hand is very close. So these Valiant Commandos were actually just a 2-drop. I would be much happier. I'll resource a Wrecker. I kind of want to keep the other Wrecker. Let's go ahead and resource the Rebel Assault and just keep our curve here. My opponent playing the First Order deck, which is going to be an interesting one. Very curious. Let's go ahead and claim they're going to deal the damage. They've started with... Ooh. I mean, I don't think my opponent's going to have a way to deal with this. So let's just go Wing Leader. I don't think my opponent's going to have a way to deal with this big Sabine in their deck. I mean, they could have Open Fire, right? And then that's just Open Fire plus Hux trading for Sabine, right? But that's not strong. That's not a strong play, to be honest. So I think just the Wing Leader is going to be a really good spot here. I was thinking about Fighters for Freedom, but I mean, I just think this is a good play. Let's go ahead and attack in. Actually, I'm going to hit the Hux and then deal 1 to base. I think just getting rid of the unit is going to be kind of nice. This is going to be interesting, though, because we can attack with Wing Leader first, and then they can't actually hit it with the Von Reg's tie. And again, the reason why I'm attacking Hux here is because I think with their earlier deploy, we're going to struggle a little bit. They have Force Choke. Okay. So they do have removal. They did have Force Choke, which is surprising. A little bit surprised that they even had that in their deck. But, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Another space unit here. They're going to deal some damage. So yeah, we're getting a lot of pressure put onto us. There's the Podameron, which means that we are in a really good spot now. Let's just go ahead and get in for 2. I'm going to hit base here. They can attack in for 6 total. Let's get in with the K2. I think we just play Podameron dry. I know I can stall and like pass and like hope that they play something, but I don't think my opponent would play into the Podameron. If I'm passing, I think my actions are pretty obvious. If I was my opponent, if I was just passing, I would just play another unit, right? And I guess if they do play another unit, it could be a space unit, and that would be horrible. Like if they play a space unit, we end up playing Podameron anyways, and then it's just like game over. At least this way we actually get, a threat down. And that can help us really in this game. Let's see what my opponent's got as a follow-up here. Phasma can do a lot of damage, right? I mean, this is a very threatening spot that we find ourselves in. So they're gonna get in for 5. Oh, they're gonna hit Podameron? What? Oh my gosh, that's a crazy play. Okay. I'm very surprised that was the decision here. Okay, another K2. I just don't think the Valiant Commando is going to do anything. Okay, so what do we do? If I ECL at Wrecker, I can't deploy Cassian this turn. However, if I deploy Cassian, hit their base for another 6, so that's 12 damage between Cassian and the Wrecker, I win. And if I let them attack with Phasma, I get 5 plus 3 plus 3, so that's 6, that's 11. That's technically not lethal. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and deploy out the Cassian first. No Cinta, don't really need to. Cassian cannot die this turn, so I'm just going to deploy Cassian. I technically have lethal unless they hit our units, but if they hit our units, I think we're pretty favored in this particular spot. That ends up working for us because we go ECL out Wrecker, deal 5 damage to the Praetorian Guard, trigger ambush, hit them for 5. That's going to be pretty nice. I mean, yes, they put up a Sentinel, which was not necessarily expected, but now we should be good. I mean, they could put up another Sentinel, I guess, but then we kill it with Cassian, I suppose. Ooh, 3 damage to the base. I mean, we're going to hit them with the Wing Leader because the Cassian is lethal now. And that should be GG. I was just playing with the information I had on board. I couldn't really play around too many cards here because I think my opponent was in a pretty significant advantageous position, and they're saying GG. So yep, Cassian lives with the initiative, and that is GG. So pretty sweet there. My opponent had some cool stuff going on as well with the first order. I think FN Trooper Corps is actually sweet. I think that's an amazing card for Phasma. I mean, just think about that. You get a 5/7 deploy. You've played a first order card, which means you can immediately attack and get your trigger. I mean, that is pretty awesome. It's also kind of cool to give it to, other cards as well, because you don't have to give it to the leader, but it's just awesome. It's just a really action efficient card. I love it. Alrighty, time for our final boss here up against Satine. I imagine this is going to be a little bit trickier. Let's go ahead and resource the other two drops, just because I'll have Valiant Commando. And I'm gonna go Battlefield Marine, and then we'll see what my opponent's got. If they happen to play, okay, they're gonna play nothing. Okay, let's resource the Cassian here. And then we did have a nice curve out. Satine coming down to restore for every single turn is going to be very obnoxious, but we have a lot of answers to that. Wow, the axe, huh? Okay, axe is going to be very good. That's going to be an excellent card. We're going to play our other 3/3, which is not exactly ideal, but there's nothing much that we can do about it. I'm going to resource probably this A-Wing. They're going to attack in most likely, although if they do attack in, we're going to be able to finish off the axe at least. Do I care about this, or are they going to give it a shield token? I think I just hit base. We're going to pass on the death right now with the Valiant Commando. I can ECL out K2 if I need to. So they do have Mandalorian armor. They're going to go with the, upgraded axe. All right, that's a hefty boy right there. That's for sure. Let's go resource the Cassian. We're just going to go straight base. I mean, my opponent's going to have the massive restoring here, which is going to be really obnoxious. And that's how they're going to come back into this game. But I think it should work out. That was not really the expected outcome. The Mandalorian armor plus Clan Run Rescuer. I guess it would have been better. Okay, well, maybe we lost. Yeah, maybe we lost. Let's go with Karis here. I was thinking, okay, yeah, this is going to be winnable, but no, not anymore. They just all in on the axe, and I made the decision to not kill it, and there you go. They had a great hand for exactly that, and you know what? Sometimes you just get trounced by a axe wolves. That's million power. Okay. That is funny. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm gonna play Cassian. I guess we could potentially win the game. Oh, what did they just do? Oh, they actually had lethal with just the axe attack. I thought we were at 12 HP, not 13. But yeah, they happen to have the Mandalorian armor and the Darksaber and the Clan Rescuer. That was a great curve out. Axe is one of those explosive cards. I was thinking because they decided to attack that they weren't going for that. Honestly, if this is what their hand was, I don't think you would kill my unit. I think you just go all in on axe and you ignore my units, which is why I thought they didn't have much for the axe. But the fact that they killed my unit and then they loaded it up, like that's a really risky play if I don't decide to kill the axe. Or if I decide to kill the axe, like your hand does significantly less than what it would do before. I guess they could still go Clan Run Rescuer plus Mandalorian armor, but I mean, they could just win the game. Like I said, I don't really have an answer to double shielded axe wolves and still just sacrificing all my units into it. And that's just not something that really functions. So, yeah, I think they just go base and that's what they did, but you could just do it before they kill my units and it's GG no matter what. Like, I don't think I actually have a game plan around this unless I had like a Fighters for Freedom or something to saboteur through it, which I didn't. That was just GG. So cool stuff from my opponent. Well played. All right, what do we learn with the new cards and Cassian himself? Well, first off, Cassian did some sweet stuff. There were a lot of games where we just made our opponents have this very awkward set of events where they couldn't kill our units, or if they played it in different sequence, they couldn't kill our units. They had to make inoptimal plays, and in some cases, they just couldn't kill our units because we got an attack in with them, which is absolutely amazing. Also, there's two cards here that I thought, or three cards here that I thought were amazing, and then one that was like kind of mediocre to bad. Karasnemic was amazing. Every single time I played this guy, I was like, dang, this guy's pretty sweet. The hidden is relevant. You know, you get an attack in. The fact that he gets defeated and you get a spy token immediately after, you get the extra 2 damage in. That's awesome. I actually really like Karas. I think this card's actually fantastic. So far, at least. Nemic's Manifesto also did some work. 1 resource to get +1 damage in, and then maybe another 1 to 2 damage as well. Seemed pretty decent. Nothing too exceptional about it, but pretty solid. And then, of course, Cinta being able to get that immediate attack in was relevant in a lot of circumstances. Valiant Commando was a little bit weak. Getting a 3/3 that has to get in combat damage to deal 3 damage to a base, you know, it just ends up being a little bit weaker than I was hoping for. There are spots where I'm sure it'll be good. If it had hidden, I think this card would be really, really strong. I mean, in some decks, it's going to be really good anyways, so, you know, maybe you don't buff it, but I didn't feel like Valiant Commando really provided anything in any of the games that we ended up playing. But yeah, I mean, Cassian, the initiative kind of mechanics there, being able to like, oh, I really want to cheat on action, so I'm going to use my Rebel Assault this turn, get all my attacks, and then just flip. I don't even care about playing a card because Cassian's a 6/2 and it just doesn't die, is really, really irrelevant. Like I said in the preview for Cassian, I think this card on first glance has got a lot of power. It's very susceptible to a lot of things, but it's going to be a skill game. It's going to be a skill game based on, you know, what action should I take based on what my opponent can take, and how should I sequence this turn on turn 4 and turn 5 to get the most out of Cassian. And well, it ended up working out for us in a lot of circumstances, so that was pretty awesome. Overall, I think Cassian's gonna be a card that's really, really strong. So I'm excited to see what we're gonna do out of set 6. If you guys have already watched my tier list video, you already know that I rated Cassian pretty highly. I think I would put him in the A tier, pretty high up, because I think that this ability is just really obnoxious, especially for certain decks. So with that said, hopefully you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all for the next one.